Hello, everyone, to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays on a Sunday.
Hello, everybody. It's Sunday.
True, but it doesn't feel like a Sunday, right? Because
It
of the
does.
holidays.
My days have been all screwed up. It doesn't. I don't know what. It's because of the holiday. I guess everything has been screwed up. Every day feels like a Saturday to me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like a Sunday.
So this episode, there was some stuff that surprised me. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
which may have been. I don't know. Actually, we got a knocking ceremony that might actually also be a wedding. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
and we finally got tell-all news.
see. I watched it on TLC Go, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't preview like y'all did.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was on my podcast, the live, people were like, "Oh no, we got tell all news," and I feel really like left out because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that. So now I have no idea, and I went back on my DVR and I watched it back, and the preview wasn't there for me.
Oh, really?
Now I need people to tell me what the preview was because I didn't get it.
I think the preview was very short, but the teaser was like, I think the only thing it really showed was Veah may have cheated on Sunny.
Okay, yeah, someone said that. They said that she came back here and was in a relationship and cheated on her. That's all I got. But okay, and they did say that next week is the finale, right?
Yeah, because they said the tell-all is going to be in 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, so next week is the finale. So episode 19 will be the last episode, and then we're gonna go into the finale. So we'll go into the new year with the finale, which is exciting. I feel like this season is really dragged on because it felt like Chitty
Hmm.
and Renee were so long ago, but that's still this season.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like we've been dragging along. Like I really do want to get this season over with. No offense, but like I feel like it's overdue.
Yeah, no, this season. Well, like I remember, I don't know. It just feels like the last several seasons have all dragged.
Well, the other way, I think it was like 24 episodes with the tell
Hmm.
all was just too much. I don't know why we went into this 20 something episode phase
Hmm.
because I
Yeah.
remember when a full season was like 14 episodes, and now
Hmm.
we're like in the 20 to 24 episode phase now, and I feel like it's unnecessary. Like Magda and what's her name,
Joey.
Joey, they're so unnecessary. They didn't need to
Hmm.
be there. We didn't need any of their scenes. We've watched, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes with them, and absolutely nothing has happened in any of them.
Yeah, and then then when the tell-all starts, then the question becomes like, how many episodes of the tell-all is that going to be spread into?
I was told it was only a two-parter. That's what I was
Okay.
told. So I think we're going back into normal tell-all territory.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
crazy, the
I guess
crazy
I
thing,
guess they saw the feedback when they had dragged on the tell-all like
well, I
five
was gonna
episodes.
say the single life that had the 7 part tell-all.
Hmm.
No one was happy with that because I think the entire season was only 11 episodes, and then the tell-all had 7 parts, and no one was happy. They were like, "This is freaking ridiculous. There's no reason." And then we watched it for literally 2 months, and there's
Hmm.
no reason for that. There was no reason why we needed 7 different parts.
True. All right, yeah. So that was a little. Okay, so I guess let's get into more of this episode now.
So this episode was interesting. There was a lot of anal talk. So
Yeah.
I wanted to. I don't know. I wasn't expecting the anal talk. I
Hmm.
wasn't surprised that Joey was like, because Joey's like, oh well, if we can't have sex, let's just do anal because that's not sex. And so that seems like something that he would say. But when Mr. Ark was like, okay, so I know since you're from the U.S. and I know everybody in the U.S. is just having anal sex all the time, you got to make. And I was like, wait, is that what we're doing now? Like, is that what everybody is doing? And I didn't know. I feel like I need to ask Coco. Coco needs to be here for this because is that what's going on? Is everyone just doing anal stuff now?
I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, what made Mr. Ark say that? Do you think he was egged on by someone to?
Well, maybe the producers. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just a weird thing to say because he was like, in Africa, in Ghana, we don't do that, and we just use the vagina. And I'm like, what would want like so like if that was really Niles's dad, is that a conversation that they have with their
Hmm.
like is that something that
Yeah.
people
Yeah. He's supposed to be this like dignified town elder, like you know, revered guy, and then he's talking about like vaginal and anal sex.
it really was strange, but again, everything that's happened with him over there has been strange. Because let's talk about the fact that he pulls out $1,000 bills and starts handing Niles money. I mean, yes, that money, I think it was $86 our money, 1,000 their money, but that's still a lot of money for him.
Hmm.
Well, I heard that he works with people with disabilities, but he's got money to burn. Like nobody over there is giving people $1,000. You
I
know,
mean, I'm surprised because his like wooden hand seemed like not that impressive.
well, so my next question: do you think that producers, everybody was in Africa, they were expecting a wedding, Niles couldn't afford it? Do you think the producers slid Mr. Ark some cash and said, "Here, give this to
Mhm.
him"?
So I feel like they could have went to Mr. Stark and said, "Hey, if you make a anal and vaginal joke, we'll give you like $200 cash."
Which was all the money he needed for the wedding. Exactly. So
Exactly.
I'm beginning to wonder because they were over there and they wanted to finish the story and he didn't have the money and shit wasn't going their way. So I was like, it's pretty cheap to hand somebody a couple $100 so you can get, the rest of your filming done. And I'm beginning to think that that's what happened. I don't think that that man has that much money just sitting around. No offense, but I
Mm.
just don't think that he's got money to give to strangers.
No, yeah, I feel like they slid him a bone and then they had him under their thumb after that.
Well, yeah, once they handed him the money, they were like, "Okay, now we want you to talk about anal sex."
Yeah.
Like, because they're like, "We paid you now, so now we're gonna get what we want." So, and I feel like that's where that conversation came from, because
Yeah.
I really don't think that's a normal thing that people say to their kids right before the knock-in ceremony. I don't think that that's literally what people will be talking about.
No, I think that's something the production wanted is because like literally once that got posted, like I saw some, the typical meme accounts, they had screenshot of that and posted that. So I was like that you knew that was going to be like posted on social media.
Well, yeah, that when I saw two references to anal stuff in one episode, I was like, "Oh, I know what tomorrow's Instagram feed is going to be. I already know what people are going to be talking about." Because I was like, "Wait, we talking about anal twice in one night? I already know what the Instagram feed is going to look like tomorrow."
True. Were you shocked by Matilda's like transformation?
I was. She looked really, really good, and a lot of people were, what are you comparing her to Nicki Minaj? I saw a lot of that on X. And
Mm-hmm.
looked really good. I was very, very impressed. It looked like whatever skirt or dress she was wearing was so tight they had to help her sit down and stand up. Like it was really tight. But I ain't gonna lie, she had a glow up. She
Hmm.
looked way better than I gave her credit for, and I was very, very impressed with her wedding look. I don't know if it was a wedding or not because they said it was a knocking ceremony, but then when it was done, they said now you're married.
Hmm.
I was confused because I was like, I thought the wedding and the knocking was different, but afterward, everybody was like, "Well, now you're married," and then they went to the room and to have sex. So I was like, so maybe that was both. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, by the way, there's one of my followers also said she was giving like Jennifer Hudson vibes.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah, J Hud, I can see
Yeah.
that. She
Yeah.
was she really cleaned up very, very nicely. I was very happy for Niles. I feel like he got a beautiful woman. Okay, so do you feel any differently about Matilda now? Because I know you've been very skeptical of her. Do you feel
Hmm.
differently about her now that they're married?
Um, I don't know. I feel like until I see her on how she acts on U.S. soil, it's hard to take it too seriously.
I don't know. I feel like okay. So I had someone tell me their theory, and their theory is they think Matilda likes like really loves Niles, but they think that the family and Mr. Ark are in cahoots together, and they're pushing this more because they know that once she gets over here, that they're all gonna benefit from
Hmm.
her. They were saying like, because when they found out that the wedding wasn't gonna happen, people started doing favors, pulling stuff out of their ass. Like everybody seemed to be working together, and they think it's because the family and the community knows if Matilda gets over here that that'll benefit everybody. Not just her family, not just her, but like everybody's gonna benefit. So maybe she's not necessarily the scammer, but maybe her family are scamming. Like they're pushing this more than she is.
Yeah, they're gonna want that kickback of that money on the regular.
Well, she also said that she's the one that sells plantains or whatever for her family, and she's like one of the ones that is the main provider. So if they take her away,
Hmm.
I mean, no offense to her family, there's a shitload of them. Somebody else can sell plantains, but like they're gonna need somebody to provide. Because she said a couple of times, she's like, "I'm like the main provider for my family," so she's the one that goes out and works. So they would need somebody to replace that. So I think they're like, "Oh well, we'll send her to the U.S. and instead of her making like $3 a day, she could send us like $50 a day." You know,
Yeah.
like they're looking at it for the long term, and that's why they're pushing this wedding,
Hmm.
pushing them to be together as much as they are.
Yeah. I want to. Sorry if I'm gonna. Sorry if I'm jumping around, but did you see like Lauren's dirty ass feet?
I did see his feet, and I don't know why I wasn't surprised that his feet was dirty. I just feel like that's on brand for him. And when I saw him getting on the plane to go back to Vegas with his one backpack, I still can't fathom how you can go to the Philippines for 3 weeks with one backpack. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to work through it in my head of how it's possible. Like even if you bring like three pairs of clothes, you'd have to wash them. You'd have to wash something every single day.
Hmm.
Like I'm really trying to understand how he managed to get over there with one bag and then leave with one bag. Like he didn't buy anything while he was there. Like it's really wrecking my brain. Unless maybe he bought clothes over there and threw them away. Like I
Yeah.
really trying to figure it out because like sometimes I'll go like on a quick trip, like 1 or 2 days. I have
Hmm.
3 bags.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
think he definitely has a homosexual skills, and not many people do. But maybe he does the thing where like, I know some like poor musician poor when I say like I mean like monetarily poor musicians. A lot of times, what they'll do when they're on like tour is they'll just get like a bundle of like Fruit of the Loom shirts, whatever. So they'll wear them and perform and sweating them, and then afterwards they'll just throw them away because it's just like a shitty Fruit of the Loom shirt. So maybe you do
well,
that.
yeah, that's what I was thinking because he could have easily got cheap clothes, wore them, and then threw them away. That way, you don't have to pack it and bring it back and check a bag.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I'm assuming he didn't go over there and wear the same outfit every day for 2 or 3 weeks, right? Like it's
Mhm.
not possible. I would assume it's not possible.
I don't know, but on the tell all, I don't know if you saw the screenshot of the tell all people, but like I think he's wearing his like his signature like yellow pants or something.
Oh, see, I didn't get the clip, so I didn't get to see it. So
Okay. Well,
I
I posted a screenshot
oh, okay,
of
cool. I gotta go look because
like the set, the people on the set.
okay, good. Because I told you, I watched on TLCO. I didn't get no
Mhm.
clip. And then I went and watched it on the DVR. And at the end, I didn't get no clip. So I don't know why y'all are like so much more special than me because I didn't get any. Because I'm like, where is this clip that everybody saw that I didn't get? I literally didn't get it.
Yeah, if I would have known that, I mean, I could always go back, but I would have like recorded the video for you. But it's only like it's like 5 or 6, 7, 5 to 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm pretty sure the 90 Day Fiance main account will post it tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Lauren showing up to the tell all is everything that I need. I'm still pissed off that Renee won't be there because I feel like
Hmm.
we deserve that drama.
Oh,
But Lauren being there, I think, is enough for me. I think it's gonna make it a good tell all.
oh yeah, and then in the screenshot I posted, like Adnan is there in studio.
Oh, that was another question I had because I know he's here, but I
Yeah.
didn't know if he was here for the tell all taping. So that was another question I had. So yeah, he's already physically here. So that means that he's been here for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they filmed this like 3 or 4 months ago. So yeah, that means Adnan has been here for a hot minute. So the fact that we just found out like a month and a half ago, he did a pretty good job of staying under wraps in the beginning. He did.
Now he's like, yeah, now that it's kind of out there, he's like less slick with it because I think even more recently he posted a photo where like on the windshield it had the registration sticker for like the state of Texas on it. So it was like
Oh,
super obvious.
yeah, that's really sloppy. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, we already know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they knew.
I'm assuming now that the tell all preview is out, now he's allowed to say he's here probably.
Well, yeah, same with Sean. When Sean was here at the tell all, once we saw that he started posting like him and Joanne at our house and with their kids and all this shit. So yeah, once they know that we know, they can do whatever they want. Oh yeah, with Jasmine too. Remember, we didn't know if we're not dumb. We knew Jasmine was here, but she
Mhm.
wouldn't post that she was here until that tell all preview came out. Then all of a sudden, she started posting.
Yeah, that was probably that was the first time I think I got under her skin when I posted the photos of her in like Times Square with walking around with Mikey B.
Wait, is that where the all the crap like came from? That picture?
That's the one she blocked me on. Yeah.
Seriously? I didn't even realize it was that. That wasn't even nothing because wasn't that when it was Gino's birthday
Hmm.
and he posted at like some cafe somewhere in NYC, and then she was walking through Times Square with Mikey. I
Yeah,
remember.
and then she had like a vape pen, and then I think I alluded to, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's like a weed vape pen.
Oh, she got mad. Oh, I mean,
Probably.
she's a vegan. You would think that she would be into that natural, holistic
Mm. And let me
stuff.
just say, allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly. But I mean, weed. I don't consider weed drugs. Weed is a plant. That's like
True.
the holistic, healthy stuff. Like I
Mm.
think opioids are drugs, right?
Yeah.
Like like
No,
weed.
yeah.
That's
True.
totally like a legit. Like in most states, you can get that.
Yeah.
That's like a freaking plant.
Basically. And then I made like a corny meme where Matilda's pastor's name was Pastor Doe. So I was like, Pastor who? And then I posted a picture of Homer saying, Doe.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, the dough pastor. I mean, I like the fact that that was a very, what do you call it?
Oh,
Inform.
I will say Niles' little speech was pretty good for him.
Well, yeah, he did good. I think he said that he was really triggered during that whole ceremony or whatever. So yeah, he did really good, and I'm happy for him. I think that it's not gonna. I don't want to be like negative, but I don't think it's gonna work
Hmm.
because he doesn't have any money and he has to apply for a visa, and you have to prove, that you make 50,000 a year or more to get a visa. So I don't think it's gonna work.
Hmm.
But I'm happy for him that he's happy, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Speaking of, you don't think it's going to work. And then in the preview, Vanja, I guess she heard back from Yoshiko or whatever. And then he told her, quote, I don't think I can be with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So we don't know the reason yet, but a
Mhm.
lot of people are saying, well, my theory is he's fostering a kid, right? So fostering is temporary, but you have to foster and then you can apply for adoption. If he was to leave the country, that means he would have to give the kid back, right? I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
it works. And I think he's adult. He's gonna choose his kid over a chick that he just met. Like I think that it's pretty obvious, and I think Vanja skips over the dating process. Like she wants to be married so badly that she doesn't want to date anyone. She wants to meet them and then start planning her life with that person instead of dating. And I
Yeah.
think that that's her biggest issue is because she went over there to try to marry Boja and they had only talked online and he clearly didn't even like her. And I think that she's just looking to find a husband so quickly that she's running. She's like she takes something and she runs with it, and you give her an inch, she give her a mile. I mean, the fact that he flew over here for 10 days shocked me
Hmm.
because they didn't even have sex while they were in Croatia. So it was kind of shocking that he thought to get on an airplane and go, chase after this chick because he had to leave that kid for 10 days. That's a long time, for a little kid. That's a long time. So I was a little shocked. I was like, maybe they do deserve each other. Maybe they both move too quickly and they both put all their eggs in the same basket and hope for the best. So I was thinking maybe it would work. But you called it before me. You
Yeah.
said that something was gonna happen and they were gonna break up. And you were right. It was quicker than I
Yeah.
I thought at least they were gonna break up at the tell all.
Yeah, like so I think like Van just which I don't know if you saw this, paid attention to like the scene when they were driving to the airport and he was driving and she was like holding his arm and like doting over him and like kissing his like shoulder or arm or whatever, and like you know what I mean, like so pressed over him.
No, yeah, because she tried to say he was crying too, but she was the
Yeah,
one.
but like it's kind of like you got to look at it as like if the roles are reversed, meaning like if the guy is like super pressed over the new girlfriend or whatever, and he's like, and they've only been together for like a week, and he's like literally clinging onto her arm and like kissing her shoulder every 2 seconds. Like, if you're a guy doing that, the chick would get turned off because you're like way over the top smothering her, and it's like a brand new relationship. So like, but that's how she is with guys.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, a girl would find that very
Yeah,
creepy, needy.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, like especially if it's in the super early beginning and you're just like smothering the fuck out of them.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying because she does come across needy automatically, like instantly. She's very needy. She needs to be reassured, and
Hmm.
she wants this person to say they're going to throw away everything that they've been working for so they can get married. Like she wants that instantly, and I think she probably could find a guy easily locally if she wasn't so needy.
Hmm.
I think that she's been single for too long. I think she said 6 years was the last time she had sex or whatever. I think she's been single for so long that she's desperate. I hate to say that word, but I feel like she's a little desperate now not for a boyfriend, but for a husband. And
Mhm.
that's the worst type of desperate because you can't be desperate for a husband. That shit takes time. And I feel
Yeah,
like desperate for a husband.
that's a good point and valid.
Yeah, I think she wants a husband really, really bad. And
Mhm.
you don't just wake up one day, meet somebody, and you get married. That's not how the shit works.
True. And I think in the screenshot of the tell-all, it had Bozo in the screen next to her.
Why would he be there? Okay. Okay, so I do want to hear him explain in his own words why he can't be with her because we've always had our um theories. I think he's got a girlfriend or he's married or he's with the ex-girlfriend. We all have theories. So I want to actually hear why he treated her like she was the ugliest person he ever met when she got there. I do want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that they also will like swap in Yoshiko into the screen at some point.
Well, yeah, he kind of owes us an explanation too. I don't know how much of an explanation we're gonna get next week,
Hmm.
or if, like that was the only text she got. Because didn't she say he texted her? He didn't even call. He
Hmm.
texted and said, "I don't think I can be with you," or "I can't be with you," which is even worse. So
Yeah.
maybe at the tell-all, he can elaborate as to why. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know why. Because if he leaves the country, I'm pretty sure you can't bring a foster kid with you because that's
Hmm.
not don't have full custody of that kid. You're just fostering, so you can't leave the country with it. He'd have to give his son back, and he's
Hmm.
not that for some chick he didn't even have sex with.
I mean, I
Oh,
just
I want to ask you one question real quick. Do you think it's weird that he kept saying like, "How was your night with me?" and he kept alluding that they had sex, and then she kept saying that they didn't. Do you think
so
she's full of shit?
well, like so. That's what I was gonna like. That's what I was gonna say is like I think and correct me. My understanding is I don't know which night it was, but my understanding is that they ultimately did have sex. And you're
While he was in Orlando, they did.
okay.
But
But
when
I could have sworn that part okay, but like I could have sworn one of the nights in Croatia they like had
they
sex.
did, and then the next scene, they woke up in bed together, and he was like, "How was our first night in bed together?"
Hmm.
And she smiled, and then the very next scene was her doing her interview, and she's like, "We didn't have sex."
No, but like, but that was one of the nights. But I feel like one of the nights prior to that, I thought they did have sex.
Well, she kept saying they didn't. I
Hmm.
had thought that the time that she finally admitted it, that the dry spell was over, was when he was in Orlando. I could be wrong. I could be.
Yeah. If anyone's listening and has like more of a thought on that, because my understanding is they did have sex in Croatia before Orlando, at least one night.
Well, I think that her dry spell, 6 year dry spell, is her fault because I feel like if it's true that they weren't sleeping together as many times as he said that. Basically, it was right in her face. He was handing it to her, and she kept saying, "Oh, we didn't sleep together. We didn't sleep together." And I was like, "Well, you can't really complain about your dry spell because you're turning it down. Like it's
Hmm.
right there in front of your face, and you're just saying you don't want it, right?" That's like I don't know. That's how I felt because every time, every at the end of every scene, it was him carrying her into the bedroom, and you know what that means. And then
Hmm.
the very next time we see her, she's like, "We didn't have sex. We didn't have sex." And I was like, maybe she just don't want to say she had sex on TV. I'm assuming that maybe they did every single time.
Yeah, my understanding is at least one of the nights they did have sex, just maybe not the final night, not the last night or something.
Well, I remember, I don't know, because I tweeted out, I was like, why are y'all making plans about who
Uh,
moves with? Y'all ain't even had sex yet.
Okay,
And
well, so Patty in the comments is saying what you said, which is Orlando was the first time, is what Van just stated.
it's the first time that she admitted it.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, though, I could have sworn they like. I'm not
I
saying the final night, but I felt like there's a night prior to the final night where they did have sex in Croatia, but that's just my
I
memory.
think she's full of shit. I think that they had sex more than once in Croatia. And I
Hmm.
don't know if like maybe for in her culture you don't be saying that.
Yeah.
Every time he carried her to the bedroom and then they wake up next to each other and they look all naked, she's like,
Hmm.
"We didn't do anything." And I'm like, I think you might be lying. Like I think you might
Hmm.
be lying. I think y'all did do something. You just don't want to say it.
Were you surprised? What's her name? Magda finally banged Joey.
I was. I thought she had held out for like
Hmm.
the whole 2 weeks, So I really did think that she was gonna stick to her guns and not have sex with him until they got married or until he put a ring on the finger or whatever. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was very surprised
Mm,
that she gave it up because she was pretty serious about how she needed to be in the US married with a ring on her finger before she gave it up. I believed it.
yeah. And then I mean that whole argument where it's like after they hooked up, then there was a whole argument over Joey was talking, her his best friend is his former girlfriend, and then she was all upset about that. Like,
Yeah, okay. I think the fact that the best friend and him dated 6 years ago, I think she said, or 7 years ago, he said, I don't remember exactly, 6 or 7. I
mhm,
don't think it's that serious, but she did tell the story of how the guy from Germany, he cheated on her a bunch of times, and he was dishonest. So I understand that dishonesty and lying and omission is a trigger for her. So
mhm,
I understand why she got so upset, but I don't know. In my opinion, he used to date her for like, I think he said they only dated for a few months. It wasn't even
mhm,
serious. 6 or 7 years ago, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I don't even need to be made aware. Honestly, don't even talk. I don't want to talk about it. It's not even that serious. If y'all aren't having sex now, like another pertinent question, is Jill in a relationship now? That's kind of important too. So like if
mhm,
Jill's single and she's still hanging around Joey, maybe it's a conversation to have. But like if
mhm,
Jill engaged and got a kid, like
yeah,
it's not necessary. But I feel like they didn't really talk about any of the other pertinent information because that would really nip the shit in the butt right then. Is she in a relationship? Is she engaged? Is she dating? You
mhm,
know, for some reason she thinks she wants Joey. Everybody don't want Joey. Everybody don't want
yeah,
him. I think it would have been pertinent for him to say, "Well, we're friends and she's engaged," or "We're friends and
mhm,
she's in a relationship for 2 years." That would have been more,
yeah.
making it
No,
a little less
that,
of a.
that that's a valid point. And then the other thing I was gonna say is, which is a random minutia, but like when you saw that like hot tub, did you ever have you ever seen a hot tub that was like log? It was like log fire powered or whatever. Did
No,
you
I've
see
never.
that?
I've never seen that in my entire life. Yeah, I've never seen that, and I don't know because it made me feel like, how do you control the temperature of the water if it's like fire? Right?
Yeah.
Like I have questions because I was just like, I don't know because how do I know it's not going to get too hot?
Yeah, and
How do
then, but like now, anytime I see a hot tub on the show, I'm like, oh, was this really part of the Airbnb or wherever they were staying, or did they wheel in a custom hot tub for filming?
Well, yeah. Now that we know that it's bring your own hot tub for
Hmm.
the show, I question that too. Now that Liz has made us aware of the secrets, because I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Was there always a hot tub there? Did they bring the hot tub? Because apparently, because that's what they did for the single house,
Hmm.
um, Mexico. For that was a so. Now I'm wondering, was that like their own personal hot tub that they brought? Or was that for everybody? Like, now I have to
Yeah.
ask
It could have
questions.
been a rental hot tub that production found and wheeled in or something.
Well, yeah, like you said, they have it attached to the back of a trailer, and they just bring it on the road with them. They just
Be-
bring hot.
Because that it would actually make sense because if it's not like installed electrically, where it's like a mobile one, and you just like throw in like logs of wood or whatever.
Oh yeah, so you can use it anywhere, even if you don't have outdoor
Yeah.
electric
Yeah,
houses. Yeah,
like if
makes
you
sense.
could if you go camping or something, you could bring that with you, and then it'll work, I assume.
Well, yeah, if you're using fire for power, as long as you got a match, it's
Yeah.
gonna work. So yeah, that actually makes sense. I mean, I think that they think that the hot tub is the
Hmm.
naughty missing piece to every scene. I've noticed
Yeah.
that the hot tub is usually where the fights start. It's where Ed gets naked. It's where
Hmm.
people make out. So I think that they think that the hot tub is like the naughty missing piece to every scene. So that's why they keep
Yeah.
bringing them.
True. So, were you surprised when Sonny proposed to Veah?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So when they woke up the next day after he said in a rageful, like, convert to my religion, and they woke up the next day in the same bed, and then they were gonna go on a walk and like nature and shit together. I was thoroughly confused because
Hmm.
they completely broke up last week. So I was actually that was a curveball that caught me off guard. I was thoroughly confused. I actually assumed that they were done. So the fact that they went out, were getting along, and then got engaged, that was like a holy shit moment for me because I was like, damn, they really do be surprising me because I would have never expected them to even have a conversation again after what
Mhm.
happened before.
Yeah, no, that was a I'll admit that was a curveball for me too.
I just didn't expect it. After and the way that the dad reacted to her and how he didn't say anything to his dad, and then he was like, "I'm going to go against my family and do this anyway," and I was like, "For real?" Because when he told her to, like you got to remove your tattoos, and he called her fat, like you didn't have anything to say, but now you're gonna go to your dad and tell him that you're marrying her now. Like that's well. Also, he didn't want to tell her his dad that he got engaged, but she kind of forced it, and I feel like that was kind of her revenge. She wants to go back to the dad after he said all that shit to her and be like, "We're getting married anyway." And I think
Mhm.
that's kind of her revenge, but I think it's gonna blow up because he's gonna get disowned. And then if she does bring him here, which I don't think it'll ever get to that point, but she's stuck with him because he's not gonna have anywhere to go back to. Because his
Yeah.
family, after they told him not to do it and he does it anyway, they're not gonna want him. So she's gonna be stuck with him.
And then, oh, what's weird is like on the tell-all screenshot, both of them are on the screen. Like both Vea and Sunny are on the screen.
So Veya's not in the studio.
Correct.
Huh. But like in separate on separate screens.
Well, like one screen with a split screen. So,
So they could be in the same place.
oh, maybe I don't know.
That's interesting. So cuz maybe she's in South Africa or
Hmm.
now I'm very intrigued because I would assume she would have been physically in studio. Why? And the only reason why you wouldn't be is if you're in another country. And I think the only other time Tyree had COVID. That's the only other time that an American who was in America wasn't at the tele, or they told you not to come. So that's interesting. So maybe she's in South Africa,
Hmm.
huh?
But yeah, and then I don't know. Maybe the preview, because sometimes the previews they try to throw you like curveballs to throw you off. Because the preview made it say like that she may have cheated on Sunny. That was the preview, but that could just been a curveball, and she's really in South Africa, and things are going okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
huh. I don't know where to go with that. I
yeah,
wasn't that. I don't have a theory.
true. Did we talk about all the couples tonight?
Yeah, that was everybody because we didn't get Adnan and Tiger Lily this week. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be on the finale though because she said that he was doing something with their finances and now she wants to get a post nump, which is really interesting because she said in one of her when you do like a question and answer on your Instagram stories, somebody asked how they paid for that wedding because it seemed lavish, and she was like, "Oh, Adnan is very, very rich. He owns multiple businesses, and money has never been an issue with him." And then she was like, "He's making bad decisions with my money. I need to protect myself." So it's making me question that because if your husband is richer than you, it really wouldn't matter what he does with your money because he has more money than you.
Like, didn't the previews say something like I don't know if it was like power of attorney or what, but it was something like the brother has access to Adnan's brother has access to Adnan's funds,
Well, to
which
Adnan's funds, but also her funds.
yeah.
Which, yeah, the whole thing was really strange. Yeah, the brother was in charge of Adnan in a power of attorney stance, but he was in control of Adnan's finances as well as her finances, which I can understand the alarm in that because you don't even know his brother. Why would he be in charge of your money? But I don't know. I don't know if it's because he does have a lot of money or if it's because they're trying to get some of her money. Like, I don't know where to go with that either because I was like, maybe the brother and Adnan are trying to take her for all she's worth. So I didn't know exactly where to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in Texas, I assume they're doing, and if she's pregnant or whatever, and he's in Texas, I assume they're doing okay, unless he pulls a Mohammed.
Well, she was always okay as long as she was getting the alimony and child support from her ex-husband. But alimony stops when you get
Hmm.
married.
Yeah.
So that was my thing because I was like, why is she in such a rush to marry Adnan, that means that her money train ends. So I was really confused by that because I was like, it would be smarter for her to stay married to her ex husband or stay engaged to Adnan and keep collecting money from her ex husband. That would have been what any normal person would have done.
Hmm.
She was like in such a rush to marry Adnan. Like she went there and got married on the same trip. I think within a couple of days of getting there, and that ends your spousal support, which I'm pretty sure is a lot. Because I'm just assuming, but the whole situation with him is confusing because they both are trying to boast this really rich high end lifestyle, and I'm not exactly sure that it's true. So that's why I try to follow the clues, but I think
Hmm.
it might not lead to anything because there's not actually a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, and then I just want to say, one of our listeners, which her name is like just Jen, she was the one that well, she had sent me a nice DM the other day. So I just want to say thank you for sending that. She's also listening live. So thank you,
Oh,
just Jen.
thank you, Just Jen.
Yeah. And then, do you want to talk to Lana real quick before we end it?
Is Lana here? Oh, we haven't talked to Lana in forever. Yeah, we should have Lana talk just to see what's going on with her. I feel like it's been like months, right, since we talked to Lana.
Yeah. And this the last show until next year? The last podcast until next year?
Yes, this is the last podcast of the year. We'll be back in 2025. Sounds great,
Yeah.
right?
I know, right? But Lana, I gave you. Oh, there she is.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
Hey, Lana.
hi, Lana.
Hi, I'm getting over a cold, so I might sound a little crazy.
That's
You on meds?
how was your
No, I'm not. I'm just taking Sudafed,
Mm,
Benadryl, that kind of stuff.
true.
so
But I'm feeling better.
how was your
Good.
did you do anything interesting?
You know what? I just chilled Christmas, but Christmas Eve, I got to tell you guys this story really quick. Christmas Eve, I'm in my kitchen. I'm baking homemade pies, my sweet potato pies, my pumpkin pies going on. And so I look out the window and I see this lady and she's on the ground. I'm thinking, oh my God, did she fall? What's going on? So I go out my back door and go and see what's going on with her.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady is tweaking on my grass, digging through my leaves one at a time, one at a time.
What?
And she's in this pink, like bunny, like jacket, and she has the hood over her face. So I never could really see her face, but I had to get her on video because I was like, nobody's going to believe me. You
Hmm.
know, this was like 4 in the afternoon. So like every hour I would peek out the window and say, okay, is she still there? And she was still there. It's 11:30 at night and foggy, and she's still there tweaking in the leaves on the ground. So I literally called. I didn't call 911, but I called our local police department, and I was like, there's this lady that has been on my grass. She is literally digging through the leaves one at a time. I go, she has been out there like 5 6 hours on her knees on the grass. And they're like, oh, wow. Okay, ma'am. Well, we're going to send somebody to come by there. What do you want us to do with her? Do you want her to just leave your yard? And I said, well, I'm more concerned for her well being. I go, she's been out there a long time. I go,
Hmm.
it's foggy. I live on a corner block. So any car could miss the corner and hit her. She's on the damn ground. And so they were like, okay, ma'am, we're going to send somebody out there. So I ended up going to bed. So the next morning, I go out my front door to go and unlock my gate. I look down my street. This lady's tweaking on the grass in someone else's yard with the same damn clothes on, the same everything. I'm
Hmm.
assuming maybe the cops did come by here and told her, you know what, ma'am, you got to leave. But she just went to another grass.
So
And then what happened?
You know what? I haven't seen her since. It's the strangest thing.
Hmm.
If I show you the video, you can literally see all the spot that she did on my grass that was totally clear from leaves. That
She
was
was
all
she was like
her.
raking your leaves one leaf at a time.
One leaf at a time. She was tweaking. I don't know if she thought she lost her drugs in the leaves. I don't know what the
Hmm.
hell she was doing. But she was tweaking out there for like 5 6 hours. on the ground.
Man, what's up with Fresno?
Right? It was it was so crazy. I was like, what is this lady doing? I thought she was hurt when I first seen her. I was going to run out there and say, "Hey ma'am, are you okay? Do you need help?"
Like,
Or
like, like her tweaking. What did that entail? Like,
you could literally see her in my video. I kind of videoed her through my kitchen window,
mm-hmm,
but you could literally see her picking at the leaves one at a
mm-hmm,
time. She'd pick up one leaf and she'd move it, and then she'd pick up another leaf and she'd one at a time, literally. And
mm-hmm.
you can see the whole spot on my grass that was clean from her, just picking through the
Like,
leaves one at a time.
like were your kids home? Were your kids home?
No, no kids here, just
Okay,
me.
I was gonna say because I would wonder what their reaction would be.
Right, right. But I was just like, what in the hell is this lady? Where does she live? Where did she come from? I had never seen her before in my neighborhood.
Mm. Your neighborhood's like decent.
It's a decent neighborhood. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, basically in Fresno, where the apartments are is where the problems are.
Mm-hmm.
In Fresno, I live in a neighborhood. I'm buying my home, so I live in a neighborhood that's all houses. So we don't have apartments here. So we don't have much drama here. A
Yeah.
lot of the people in my neighborhood have been here like 25, 30 years, most of my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
See,
So it's just
that's how
strange.
my neighborhood is. We don't have any apartments whatsoever. There's just houses. So we
Right.
don't have like strange. I mean, don't get me wrong. I live in Florida. There's a lot of strange stuff going on, but not as much as like the parts where there's a bunch of apartments everywhere. So I get what you're saying.
Yes.
'Cause,
Yes.
you
Because
know,
here in Fresno, our apartments that are around us are all you hear is sirens all the time. There's always something going on at these
Mm-hmm.
apartments.
oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good reality show, like Fresno apartments, like ghetto apartments. I'm playing.
Well, Fresno was so bad at one point that we were on the TV show Cops all the time
Mm.
because there was so much shit going on here.
Yeah, no, you at least it gives you a lot of stories.
Oh, it does. It gives me a hell of a lot of stories, that's for sure.
But I feel like at some point you probably would rather have peace and quiet than a good story.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But then again, you wouldn't be Lana from Fresno if you didn't have all your crazy stories.
All my crazy stories, I'll tell you. And there's so much more that like I said, I'll write a book one day. I need to.
Like aside from our podcast, have you ever like called into like regular over the air radio?
I have a couple of times, like they would have like maybe a subject, like, what
Mm,
do you guys think about this or that or whatever? And I
yeah.
would definitely call in,
Eh,
and I would talk to them and I'd have them cracking up all the time.
Okay, yeah. See, I feel like this ain't your first rodeo. Like,
No, it's funny, but I've always been that person that,
mhm.
I got the gift of gab. I was blessed with the gift of gab.
Yeah. Well, it's a good combo of gift the gab with the good stories.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
True. Well,
But yeah, I was thinking though about uh oh gosh, what's her name? Vanja? Is it Vanja?
yeah.
Yeah, Vanja.
Yeah, I was thinking about her earlier when I was watching the show, and I'm like, Shabooty, you're dead on right with her.
Mm,
She seems, and George, you're exactly right with her because she seems like she's so desperate to be married, and she's basically very clingy, like you said. But the
mhm,
thing is I think she's a damn liar. I think she slept with that man a couple of times.
Yeah,
mhm,
Croatia.
I do too. Because he would always say, like, oh, we had a really good night. And then he was like, oh, how did you feel about our first night in bed together? And then the very next scene in her interview while he wasn't there, she's like, we didn't have sex. I'm like, I think you lying now.
Yes. Oh, she was
mhm.
lying her ass off.
Yeah, that's why she was all over. That's why she was doting over him so much.
And you know what I think it is? I think the reason she didn't want him to say it on camera that they did have sex is because she went there for a whole nother dude. So she didn't want to know how that was gonna look to people.
Hmm.
Oh, see, I'm not mad at her for having fun. There's no,
Me neither.
there's,
I was happy for her.
I don't know why she thinks that we would judge her for that. I'm judging her for trying to marry the dude she met 2 minutes prior. I'm judging her for that. I don't care that she wanted to have some fun with. a guy on vacation. How many?
Right.
Who doesn't go on vacation and want to have fun? Like a
Exactly.
whole single life season of Chantel just searching for dick in Greece. Like, is it like
Yep.
literally what she did? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. She got out of a bad marriage and she wants to go have a good time. I ain't judging her for that.
I ain't either. Girl, get yours.
Yeah, she was looking for greasy dick in Greece.
Yes, she was.
was she was she got some too, and even Chantel, she didn't make it seem like she wasn't fooling around. She was. She didn't. She There's no reason to be embarrassed. She was married for 7 years to a dude that doesn't even like her. Like, I'm not
Right.
going over there and getting some. I ain't mad. Why do we have this weird stigma where women can't have sex? Like, why is that? I don't understand.
Exactly. Especially if they're single, they're not holding on to anything or anybody. What's the problem?
Right. If she's
Yeah.
single and she is ready to mingle, she just got out of a bad relationship, bad marriage. She's not allowed to feel out a relationship before she jumped and get married again. I think women should
Exactly.
have sex before they get married, just so they realize who the person is and if they want to stay with that person. I think so many marriages end because people wait. I think that's
Yes.
a bad thing.
Oh, that's so true.
True, and then this may be like a Friday topic in the sense that it may be like we may need more time to dive into it. But I guess there was a story where Lauren, after the whole faith thing ended, when he was back in Vegas, he got married, remarried, and then he broke up with the person he just married in Vegas.
I seen
I
that.
saw it too. Yeah, I saw it.
I seen that. That is just crazy to me.
Well,
That was a woman too. That was just a normal woman too,
Well,
wasn't
it
it?
was like a trans woman, right? Because the person's name
Oh.
was like Carlos or
yeah,
something.
it was a trans.
Oh.
It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me only because we saw that Unearthed podcast that he did where he said that Faith was one option.
Yep.
You remember he said, if I don't marry Faith, there's another woman that I'll marry in Vegas. If you recall that interview. And then he said if he did
That's right.
Vegas, he said that he had another option.
He
Mm-hmm.
sure did.
There was three options, and I think this was option number two. Because he did say that if I don't marry Faith and stay in the Philippines, I can marry this woman in Vegas. That's exactly what he said in that podcast interview. So who knew that he was telling the truth?
Right.
Did as soon as he got back, he marries this person, and I guess the divorce just got finalized a few days ago. But like Shabooty, like you said, there's not enough time for us to unpack all this and really get into it. But it definitely will be a good Friday topic because
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of different theories and stuff, but yeah, I think it'll be better when we have everybody here, like with
Yeah.
O and Captain, and we can all get
Yes.
Yeah. So we get Coco's reactions and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
for sure.
be to unpack on Friday.
What was I gonna say? I had a Lauren thing, but then I forgot it. But yeah, I guess I'm sure I'll think of it before Friday. Um,
It's always a Lauren thing, right? It's always a Lauren thing.
I know. He's everywhere.
I
yeah.
hate to say it, he's reality. You know how Renee says she's reality gold? Lauren,
Right.
Lauren is the gold.
He is.
She's silver at best. Lauren is gold. Like everything about him and his story and the craziness. That's why I'm really excited that they let him go to the tell all because I just can't wait to see what comes out of his mouth. Like,
I know.
Mhm.
just so excited to see what he has to say.
I know.
Uh, Jen, if you're curious on the seating, like it's like Sean is there, and then Joey's next to Sean, and then Lauren is next to Joey. So he's not directly next to Sean.
Well, I'm assuming that's on purpose. I think Sean, she probably requested, that he sit as far away as possible. Somebody said on X tonight, they were like, I feel like he stinks. Do y'all feel
Hmm.
Yes, I
okay?
agree.
So you agree? Because somebody was like, I feel like he has a stench to him all the time. That's what.
Yes,
Hmm.
I feel the same way. I just feel like just looking at him makes me think he stinks.
Well,
Hmm.
I think Shabooty, you posted the foot
Feet.
picture
Yeah.
and I think one of the comments below was like, I think he smells or he has like a stench to him all the time. And I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like he does because you remember when he was cooking shrimp in the bathroom.
Yeah, it was all hot and sweaty.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was all sweaty and there's sweat dripping in the food.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. I probably feel like he would have a stench. Like I don't know, be
Hmm.
like a must stench
Yeah.
sweat.
I mean,
Well, if he
he
has his
probably, he
bathroom
probably,
to cook
he
in,
probably
he
smell,
definitely ain't showering in there.
he probably smells like the couch he sleeps on.
Yeah, yeah, and we
Exactly.
all know what happened to the couch. He bled all over the couch. So we
Hmm.
Yes. Oh my God! Can you?
You know
That
what?
man is so disgustingly gross.
We should ask some of the cast members that met him at the tell-all. You know, when
Yes.
you hugged him, did you get a smell? Did you get a stench? You know, just blink
Yes.
twice. You don't
Yeah.
have to say it. Just blink twice, so I know.
Yep.
True. But by the way, Lana, did you watch Squid Game or no?
No, I don't watch that.
I feel like it'll be a good show for you because you're not afraid of violence and stuff.
Oh wow, is that what it's about?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a very violent show. Yeah.
it's like a game show, but if you lose, you die. I think is what they say.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, it's worse than House of Villains, huh? Where they flip you in the
Yeah,
walls.
most people survive that. This like
Yeah.
Right.
I, I don't watch it either though, but I've
Mhm.
heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about it.
I was
What
disappointed.
channel does it come on?
It's
It's
on Netflix,
Yeah,
right?
Netflix. Yeah, no, I watched the second season and I was a little disappointed with the second season. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, you know how like, so it was only 7 episodes of the second season, but then apparently I guess next spring or next year is when they're gonna release like the following season. So I feel like really they had a full length season, but they chopped it up into two segments because
Yeah,
like,
that's
because
exactly.
yeah, because the way it, like ended was not very satisfying.
Well, everyone said that they could tell that it was not the end of the season, but
Mhm.
I guess they ran into maybe financial issues with filming two more, like with this season, then one more. So they took half of this season and they'll give it to you, and then they're going to give you the other half for
Yeah.
the.
So it's a reality show?
No, it's like a
No,
drama.
it's
Oh.
yeah, because they can't actually kill people on the show, so it's scripted, but you know, it's
Well,
Oh, so they really do kill them.
on the show, yeah, but it's like a Korean filmed show with like
Oh
voiceover
wow.
and stuff. But yeah, like season one was like one of the most popular shows ever on Netflix.
yeah.
Oh
You
wow.
can buy the outfits and the masks at Halloween. Like it's a thing. Like it's very very recognizable. I know exactly what the outfits and the masks look like, and I've never seen the show.
And it's weird because I'm always on Netflix. I like to watch Cobra Kai. So
Okay.
I'm always on Netflix, but I've never seen that. I've never even seen a preview of that.
Oh, it's on there. I just finished Cobra Kai too. It was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm friends with, well, when I say friends, I mean I haven't really talked to him recently, but like I interviewed him in the past. I'm friends, loosely speaking, with one of the co-creators of Cobra Kai.
Oh wow.
Cause
Really?
yeah, because he's also one of the guys, the co-creator of like Harold and Kumar. You know,
Oh,
that go to White Castle.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So tell him that I want a tour of the set.
I can give you I can tell you his Twitter account, but I've interviewed him
I'll
before
tweet him.
too.
Tell him I want a tour of the set. I'll buy my own plane ticket. I just want a tour of the set.
True. But yeah. So there's that. All right. Well, I guess I feel like that's a good note to end it on. No.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good note. So we'll be back next year.
Here.
Next year, literally.
Lit-
Wow.
We'll be back next year, and I'll be back tomorrow to talk about the last resort with you guys on my Instagram Live and on
Yeah.
Spotify. But 90 Day Fiance Fridays will be back this Friday, which is next year. So, and we'll have the whole gang back hopefully, and we'll get into this because we're getting into tell-all territory, which is my favorite part. So I'm really
Yes.
excited about that.
And Happy New Year to everybody.
Oh yeah. I guess we should say that in
Yeah,
advance,
Yes.
right?
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
everybody! Have an extra drink for me because
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
Brandy and eggnog for me.
Happy early New Year, and this will be on Apple and Spotify tomorrow. But
Cool.
I'm sure I'll be on Twitter like around on New Year's Eve too. So feel free to
yeah,
tweet at me.
send some Happy New Years out there to Shabooty and I. And oh, if you're listening, show us where you're listening. So we want to see
Mm,
how fancy our listeners are. Show us where you're listening to the podcast, and we'll put reposts
for sure. So yeah, thank you for listening to 98 Pants Fridays
on a
on
Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Lana.
Bye.